Okay. My name's Robert Page, and I live here in Colorado, and I'm the liver recipient from Cody. Um, I'd like to say, first of all, to his family that this is just the most wonderful thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And I'm almost 60 years old now. I was 57 when I received Cody's liver. Um, and my life has been totally changed since this has happened to me. I'm eternally grateful, and I really enjoy being introduced to Cody's family.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us a little bit about the circumstances during the time that you were waiting to be notified about a match?
I had hepatitis C for 47 years, and it had slowly killed my liver. Only 2% of the people that have hepatitis C will actually die from it, and I'm that 2%. It destroyed my own immune system, destroyed my own liver, trying to get rid of the hepatitis C. I've had it since 1970. The circumstances which I got it weren't very pleasant. I've had a lot of things in my life go wrong, and since I've had a liver transplant, everything in my life has changed. When I was in the hospital, I was dying from end-stage liver disease. And what that does to a person is makes your brain quit working. I no longer could think. I couldn't watch television. I couldn't read. I couldn't carry on a conversation because I couldn't remember the beginning of the sentence time I got to the middle of a sentence. That's not a very long time. When people asked me questions, they had to continually prompt me so that I could finish answering it. I was asked most of my life, if you had asked me whether I would go through a life-saving procedure to save my life, I would have told you no. I don't want to go in the hospital. I don't want to be operated on. I don't want to be messed with. But when it comes right down to dying, and they say, do you want to live or do you want to die? I said, I want to live. And I'm so fortunate that I said that and that I made that choice. Everything in my life has changed since then.
Yeah. Wow. Well, can you describe what happened on the day that you and the day that you got the phone call about your match?
That morning, that was Easter Sunday of 2007. It was Easter Sunday morning, and my wife, I've been her caretaker, and she was driving me crazy. She was accusing me of abandoning her. I'm dying from end-stage liver disease, and she's not cooperating, not even the least little bit. And I went up to the atrium in Porter Hospital, which is a nice room that is all surrounded in glass and it overlooks a beautiful park. And I had a discussion with God that morning. I've never asked for much in my life, and I say, God, what can I do to help my wife? I'm at an end's loss. I don't know what to do anymore. I've been her caretaker for quite some time, and I feel that, this is more than what I can handle. And I went back to my room that day, and it was a very peaceful day. I was getting a control on my blood pressure. It had been going up and down. So I was in the hospital for 2.5 months, and they couldn't let me out. Every time they let me out, my blood pressure just dropped. I had 65 over 35 was my blood pressure. And a person's not even supposed to be able to walk when their blood pressure is that low. And the doctor had told me, we're going to save your life. We want you to get in as good a physical condition as you can get between now and the operation. And I did. I walked around and around and around in the hospital trying to get my body up as far as I could get it at that time. I was very toxified. And 9 o'clock Easter Sunday night, they called the hospital. That's the day Cody died. They called the hospital and they said, prep him for surgery. And I went down and was prepped for surgery that night.
That night, wow. And then Monday was your...
Monday was the operation, and I woke up on Tuesday.
A new man.
A new person altogether. The most traumatic part of the entire thing was when I woke up, I had a ventilator stuck down my throat. And me and ventilators don't get along. I have a terrible gag reflex, and respiratory people weren't there. So a regular nurse is pulling this thing out a quarter inch at a time, and I'm tied up in a bed, my arms are tied, and I'm trying to tell them, you need to get that thing out of my throat, or I'm going to puke. And they wouldn't listen. And I started to throw up. And my blood pressure went like 300 over 180 or something like that. And they're screaming at me, Mr. Page, calm down, calm down. And finally, they pulled that thing out of my throat, and I literally sang for 3 days. I was that happy. I was a very happy person. Immediately, my brain had started to clear up. It took months to rehabilitate my brain from it all, but that was the beginning of a new life right then and there.
Well, so other than the very obvious, tell us a little bit how Cody's decision to be an organ donor has changed your life, maybe since you have received the organ.
The biggest change in my life is I realized that I'm on borrowed time. Everything from that point on was a gift, and I live it that way. I don't live for myself much anymore. My wife has died, and I have dedicated my life to helping drug addicts and alcoholics and people that are going to go and to a death, which is usually liver-based. And I truly believe that I'm here for a purpose. And I work in NAAA. We have a Christian recovery program that I work in. And I try to warn young people that if you don't want to end up where I did, you need to change your life, and you need to change it now, not later on. One of my greatest emphasis in life is that I grew up in the 60s in a different time, and we thought drugs were cool. We thought the only way you could have fun was to get high. And whatever you got high on, you know, there was an endless number of drugs and alcohol to get high on, and we really had a concept that you had to be high to have any fun in life, and that's such a lie that we fed ourselves. It is so much more of a blessing to live life straight, clean. It's so much more enjoyable than it ever was for me all of my life, and I'm sorry that I lived the life that I did, but I am here to warn other people that it can be done without alcohol and drugs.
Well, no time, I don't think it's too late, so it's a new beginning at 60 for you then. So, tell me a little bit about how you are feeling when maybe you started receiving the anonymous letters from Donor Alliance. Maybe you knew that they were from Cody's mom, Candy, but it probably didn't say too much, just because I know that they're supposed to be anonymous and very discreet. But tell me a little bit about how you felt when you started to receive those letters, maybe the thoughts and feelings that you were going through about signing those waiver letters, about lifting the discretion, and a little bit about the gathering which we had last year.
For me, I desired what happened. I wanted to meet the people that had saved my life and helped in that decision. I take this all as a great blessing. A lot of doctors, and they warned me when this all took place, you might not want to do that because a lot of times the family wants to get involved in your life. They want to know what you're doing, and blah, 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 blah. And I know I'm in control of me. I've always known that, you know, no matter what. This is my liver now, and I happen to have a lot of respect for it. I take care of it. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. And I try to help other people. Her family, I got the initial letter, and I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. I was very